Hi, I'm Rev Myron. I'm a minister through Pathways of Light, and I've been a Course in Miracles student for 40 years. I'm going through the text again this year, and I'm reading it a paragraph or two at a time. And then I'm asking Jesus for clarity, and then I write from that clarity. And that's what I'm sharing with you today. So let's get started. We're looking at chapter 4. We just started it. We're on the introduction. Yesterday, we looked at the first two paragraphs. And today we're looking at the third paragraph of the introduction. And this is what it says. The journey to the cross should be the last useless journey. Do not dwell upon it, but dismiss it as accomplished. If you can accept it as your own last useless journey, you are also free to join my resurrection. Until you do so, your life is indeed wasted. It merely reenacts a separation, the loss of power, the futile attempts of the ego at reparation, and finally, the crucifixion of the body or death. Such repetitions are endless until they are voluntarily given up. Do not make the pathetic error of clinging to the old rugged cross. The only message of the crucifixion is that you can overcome the cross. Until then, you're free to crucify yourself as often as you choose. This is not the gospel I intended to offer you. We have another journey to undertake, and if you will read these lessons carefully, they will help prepare you to undertake it. The useless journey, or the journey to the cross, is death in its many forms. It is sickness, loss, lack, hatred, anger, fear, judgment, jealousy, depression. Can you think of any other forms of suffering that you choose? All suffering is a form of death. Then, of course, there is the death of the body, the coup de grace, the final proof that I am not what God created, that I am indeed my own creation. The journey through suffering and finally to my death is my ultimate victory against God. Jesus overcame death, and in doing so, it's done. All that is required of me is that I accept this gift, and then it's done for me too. His was meant to be the last useless journey, done for all of us, and done for the last time. Instead, we've chosen sacrifice, a form of death. We've chosen to follow in his footsteps, endlessly reacting the crucifixion while rejecting the resurrection, which proved that death is not real. Resurrection is proof that the ego body cannot overcome God's will. I say we because it is what we all do when we buy into sickness, suffering, and death as inevitable parts of life. Jesus says this is a wasted life. It merely reenacts the separation, the loss of power, the futile attempts of the ego at reparation, and finally, the crucifixion of the body or death. This time, I'm determined to stop reenacting the separation and to choose resurrection instead. There are many little ways I can do this. Each one is helpful to achieve resurrection, at least until the one that finally tips me over. I like to think of it this way. I forgive, and there's a crack in the ego blocks, and a little light gets in. With this light, I see another opportunity to forgive, and the crack widens. I keep doing this until the light blazes throughout my mind, and there is no more darkness. Then there's nothing left to forgive because darkness cannot withstand the light. In the meantime, I stay vigilant for the dark thoughts so that I can let the light shine them away. My focus now is on the thoughts that hide my brother's brilliance from my awareness. This morning, I had a fleeting thought that someone I know is not holy. Well, it tried to flee past my attention, but I caught it. I recognized and realized that this happens each time I think of this one. So I stopped what I was doing and I talked to Jesus about it. And this is what he reminded me of. You cannot enter God's presence if you attack his son. Chapter 11, section 4. This person is part of the sonship. So if I want to see myself in God's presence again, I must forgive my judgments of her. And this, remember then when you're tempted to attack a brother, that his instant of release is yours. Chapter 15, section 1. And this, it's not up to you to change your brother, but merely to accept him as he is. Chapter 9, section 3. All through the course, I am told not to judge and not to attack. We go home together because we are together. So I must see myself as one with each of my brothers if I want to go home. The ego argues that I can't like everyone and that not liking this woman is not a mortal sin. No, it's not, but it is a mortal error because it imprisons me in the split mind. In choosing to judge, I'm wasting my life. No more. I am done reenacting the separation. I invite you to be done right along with me. Thank you so much for joining me in this reading. And if you found it helpful, then please like it. And if you haven't yet, then please subscribe. And I'll be back tomorrow with another reading. See you then.